What are the emotions that we feel? Because in order to define where we are, we have to be connected to the emotions that we are feeling. When someone is getting married, it's the abundance of joy. When your kids get born, when you sign a new contract, when before you never had the clients, it's the emotions that you're feeling that are actually telling you, oh, this is where I'm at, right? Critical times are actually moments where your life are being defined, where you lost all sense of power, and anything that is presented to you now, you feel yourself impossible to overcome them. Maybe your lover just left you and you used to attach your personal value to her presence, and now you are like, oh my God, without this girl, I feel ugly. No one else is gonna want me anymore. How do I move? There's no meaning in my life anymore. Critical times is you're about to get married. You've been the one taking care of the finances of your parents. You've been the one paying their rent. And then all of a sudden you get fired and your dad has a surgery plan. How are you going to manage that? The surgery is in 2 days. And all of a sudden you have all those emotions in your body that you didn't plan, and now you have to, and when people see you in the street, they can tell, oh, there's something wrong with this person. You know, because you are walking, you are doing stuff, you're talking alone. From the outside, although your body might be still, but inside, if people could send a camera inside of you, oh, they could see everything is moving, everything is boiling. So critical time is basically when you feel like you lost all sense of control, all sense of power, and that's when any decision that you're going to make can break everything that you've been building. When you're in critical time and your girlfriend decides to leave you, if at that moment you choose to keep her hostage in your apartment because you don't want her to leave, now you are molesting people. Now the cops can come. Now you can go to jail. So the decision that you take when you are in critical times are really defining your life. And if you do not have the proper tool to take the right action when you are in critical times, that's when you become the opposite of who you've been. So let's say this guy was working at Lidl, amazing 9 to 5, being able to, once a year go on holidays with his girlfriend, everything is fine. And then the girlfriend wants to leave and he doesn't want her to leave. He keeps her home because he's like, oh my God, if I leave her, my life is done. We're about to be married. We are this powerful couple. Everyone loves us. Now, once he takes the action to keep her because he doesn't want her to leave the house, now he's introducing himself to a version of himself that he's never been in the past. And now because he made that one action when he was in critical times, critical feeling, now he's someone new. Now people can look at him and point fingers, oh, he's the molester. So critical times is actually the moments where our life can go worse than it has ever been. And we open ourselves to that reality when we lose the sense of power. Is it clear so far? Any question? Okay. So how do we get there? Like I said, it's the decisions that we make. But let's take an example. You have two people, someone that has been saying to himself, or someone that knows that he is amazing, that he's capable of doing anything. He's capable to accomplish any task, anything that comes. And then the girlfriend says, I'm leaving. That person may not have the same reaction than the other guy who's been attaching his personal value. So he delegates his sense of value, self-value, to the presence of his girlfriend. And now that she's leaving, it's like she's leaving with his value. And he feels completely naked, right? So we get here when we forget that we are whole alone, that our value, it's never attached to the presence of someone else. And the second you put your value in the car, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the business, the holidays, the American Express, whatever, you are not in charge anymore of your own power. Now, anything can happen to you and your reaction might lead you to worse than critical time. So, what are the emotions that we feel? This is a good question. So now I just explained to you critical times. Maybe by explaining this, you had visions of yourself during some of the critical times that you went through. Maybe you thought about a friend, a family member who also went through critical times. So can you name me some of the emotions that you perceive that people go through during critical times? One at a time, don't fight.
Vulnerable?
Yes.
I think you feel like exposed because you are overwhelmed with all these emotions, so you feel exposed to these emotions. And yeah, you feel quite vulnerable, I think, because these emotions can overcome you. You don't know how to handle them in that moment. So because you're not master of the situation, you feel like you're out of control, and then you feel vulnerable. Yeah.
Thank you. You?
I would say fear for the unknown. A big one is fear. That at critical times I feel fear, but also numbness in a way.
What do you mean?
Numbness in a way that you have no control at all. So just letting being a bit as a self-protection mechanism, I would say, like this. On one hand, this extreme sensation of fear and emotions, but on the other hand, also the freezing and the blocking of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
In a way to just keep moving, but it's not an emotion. I think numbness is not an emotion you feel.
But I received that. There is something really powerful that you mentioned. You mentioned fear. Well, fear. Well, thank you. We have this board. Fear is basically false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. What does it mean? It means you gave so much power in your imagination to something that doesn't exist, something that is not even there. But as a human being, you are so powerful that you outsource your power to that thing. Afraid, like some people are so afraid to lose their job because they made a mistake, that now the fear overcomes them and they cannot operate properly anymore at the same job where they used to be great at. Isn't it crazy? Like one mistake, but the person make the mistake so big in the mind that the manager could have not even noticed it, but because the person made the mistake so big in the mind, now the mistake is so heavy that the person cannot carry the task anymore. So fear is basically false evidence appearing real, appearing so real that you can feel it. The emotions that we feel, I'm going to introduce you to them. You can see them here. So I'm gonna introduce you. Maybe from that distance you're not able to see anything. So basically, as human beings, we are going. It's a downfall. It starts with boredom, and then we go to pessimism, frustration, irritation, impatience, overwhelmment, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame. You see how we went from green to red? Blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, rage, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, fear, grief, depression, powerlessness, victim. So you see the second you find yourself afraid, you are at the bottom of all the negative emotions that you can feel. So from this moment when you're here, whatever power you're supposed to have to keep going on in your life, to accomplish things, you don't have that power anymore. Like you are really sinking. And that's what I explained here. The person making a mistake and making a mistake so big that now they cannot move the way they used to. So What does it mean? It means when you are fear, it's a great idea to go into revenge. When you feel victim because your partner left you, it's better to feel revenge as an emotion because you're going up. I'm not saying that you should act on the thought of revenge, but if you feel powerless, depressed, grief, when you go to revenge and anger, you are on your way up. And when you are at anger, you cannot go to jealousy because now you're going down. The way up is to go to blame or worry or doubt. So if we are able to keep in mind all those emotions, and anytime, and we are going to see this after, anytime I'm already giving the one crumb of the answer, but whenever you develop that awareness about where you are in your emotions, then you can know how to navigate. Then you can know what emotion you need to tap into in order to start getting outside of the critical times. Is it making sense? Okay. Yourself. It's funny because today, for the first time, and I'm not making this up, I was making this presentation and then I saw yourself.